And especially during these times, looks like it's become really difficult to raise funding for founders, and especially and also for VCs to figure out where to invest in. What do you think, in your view, is the biggest misalignment between founders and VCs during these times?
You mean through the fundraising times?
Yeah, during the fundraising times, especially during tougher times when the
Right.
uh, you know it's been a tough market, right? With a lot of founders not being able to meet up the expectations. But what has been the biggest misalignment where the founder thinks that they've got the traction and the team, but the VCs don't think so?
Yeah, I mean, I think generally speaking, it has been a tough time for everyone,
Right.
especially in that part of the startup space. I would say that you shouldn't stop building stuff. You should always continue building and innovating, no matter what happens. I think there's always obviously there's good timing and bad timing, but at the end of the day, you should always try to put your best foot forward as a
Right.
founder and build. The question is though whether you're going to receive the your expectations are going to be met when it comes to building what you want and also fundraising what you want as well. I think I've seen a lot of cases where companies have flopped because they couldn't fundraise for their company and they've had to stop or pause it, at least for the meantime. I've seen situations where valuations have gone down, so it's been a down round versus an up round. And I think that is just part of the cycle of things, unfortunately. I think it really depends on the value of what you're building as well. If you can bootstrap, I would recommend that
Right.
because it means that you can at least hunker down and start building without raising external funding for now. And then when times are better, then you can go out blazing with a great product and you can get good terms on that and fundraise. But there are a lot of companies out there who need to fundraise, depending on their whatever situation they're in, they just need to raise external funding. And if that's the case, then I think they need to come to terms with the idea that it may not go the way that they want. And that whether it gets realized as a down round or less money raised or whatever it may be, I think it's been difficult for a lot of founders and VCs as well. VCs have a lot of money on their side to deploy, but they're a bit more conservative, I would say, since 2020, 2021, and even before that. I think they're not, they're more focused now on traction, and they're more
Yeah.
focused on being cash flow positive than anything else. I think there are a few VCs out there who are still opportunistic, and they'll obviously invest in things that just move. But I think for the most part, people are trying to be a bit more cautious about what's happening. So if it's any advice to founders, if they want to continue to fundraise, I'd say please do so, but make sure that you understand what you're agreeing to in terms of the deal terms, in terms of what you're trying to raise for, and also the runway as well. I think runway is extremely important. And if you're able to conserve cash over a longer time frame and prolong that, I think that's going to put you in a good position. There may be people out there who'd say, you need to scale quickly and build fast, but that really depends on what you're trying to build as well and how capital intensive you need to have that money put to work. But I would say for generally speaking, B2B, maybe, there's definitely a level of conservatism right now and just trying to do what you can with what you have, and then try to build traction and growth and build and continue to grow. And eventually come, next year when things start to get better and better, then go out there and start building traction with investors and build that round eventually. But I think it definitely right now it's definitely a negotiation that needs to take place between the founders and the investors.